Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It's now time for Aging in Style with American Retirement Advisors. And joining us this morning is President and owner Joe Vitale. Joe, always a pleasure having you in. Thanks so much for calling in with us.
Welcome. Good morning, Sarah. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
Good. And don't forget to get Joe's newsletter, Financial Vitals, for all the latest in market trends and financial news. All you have to do is scan that QR code that you see on your screen right now to get access to all that great information. Now let's go ahead and jump straight into today's topic, which is reducing anxiety during this uncertain time in the market. So, Joe, tell us, what is causing all of this?
You know, there's a lot of volatility in the market today, and a lot of it is you just don't know what's going on. It's like, why is this happening? Well, we got interest rate hikes. Why is that going on? Because inflation. They're trying to put inflation down, are they trying to put us in recession? They're trying to cool it. But what's happening with all the spending that there's been happening in Washington, they've got to try to, because if you have too much inflation, which is going on, it's runaway. So they're raising interest rates. So the market's like, well, how much are they going to keep doing this? What about OPEC? What about oil prices overseas? What about the war? All these things factor into it. So what's happening is they're trying to say, how is this going to affect us? I mean, it's not just a micro effect, it's a macro effect. The whole world is going to be affected by this, from our oil supply and spending and everything else. So that's part of it. Anytime anything happens, the market reacts. They're trying to see how it's going to affect us here in the States and in the country, and then worldwide, because so much is worldwide today.
So, Joe, tell us, how long should we expect these market conditions, especially considering things like, government shutdowns, the auto strikes, and then we also have an election coming up, too?
I think we're going to see volatility for a while. I think there's every time you think that you've got to figure it out, or you're looking at saying, oh, an election year, this is what's going to happen, or a post-election or previous election year. So we try to figure out the markets and try and everybody tries to market time, and they try to, get in on it, and you just can't figure it out. You think you've got to figure it out, but you never do. So I think we're gonna see a lot of volatility for a while. We're not gonna, I don't think, and the reason is because the market doesn't see they don't know what's going to happen. They want to see that when they want to see inflation is cooled, and it has cooled a little bit. But just last week when the jobs numbers came out, they were, oh my gosh, jobs growth is great, and the market went down. Well, that doesn't make sense. Well, they were worried about another rate hike, but then they saw the income was up, so the market went up, because it's like, oh, we're keeping pace. So you just don't know how to figure it out. The best thing to do is to not watch it all the time and not think you can figure it out.
There you go. So, Joe, tell us, what combination of portfolio strategies can help someone get the income that they need to kind of support their, basic needs and, of course, the lifestyle that they want?
That's hugely important. We talk a lot about mailbox money. I'm not the first one to say this, but you want to have that reoccurring income in. It'd be great if you had a pension coming in, but some people do, which is wonderful. But what we try to do is with our portfolios, with our clients, get that mailbox money coming in, get that reoccurring revenue or the reoccurring income, whether it's an income annuity or money coming in like clockwork, where they can take money out on a monthly basis without worried about the volatility. And that's the point. If you've got all your eggs in the basket in the market, and the market's down, where are you going to pull that income from? Now, granted, you can get dividends, which is important. We like to put a lot of dividend portfolios into place. You're looking at yield with bonds, but the bond market was down last year too. But you're looking at trying to find a good rate of return. So if we can get a realistic rate of return and a guaranteed rate of return and guaranteed income coming in, that really takes the stress off of the market and worried about what we have to do. And I think it's important to be properly allocated. We talk about that all the time. But to have that income coming in, and my goodness, it makes all the difference in the world.
So, Joe, tell us, is there a way to somewhat implement time segmented savings, and so funds can evolve with a person's needs?
Absolutely. I think it's really important. You have to have your income taken care of. You've got to have the income properties taken care of. You've got to have the growth. You have to have the tax-free, the tax-deferred. You have to have the emergency fund. My gosh, you know how many people come in and say, Joe, I want everything in the market because I'm a bull, and oh, that's great. But all of a sudden they call and say, I need $30,000 and the market's down, and where are we going to pull it from? So that's why, as a fiduciary, we always want to make sure that we've got money in safe vehicles where you've got your emergency fund, you've got money that's actually growing maybe 4 or 5%, but you also have liquidity. You can take money out if you need to. So you want to have safety, you want to have emergency money, you want to have growth money. We also want to have some tax-free strategies. Even if you can't do a Roth, there's other strategies that you could do. So you want to make sure that you've got everything taken care of. Proper allocation is what it's all about.
And you know what, Joe, I think just in the climate that we are in with the market, a lot of people have the big question of, is there really a way to have comfort in the current market?
Other than being an ostrich with their head in the sand, no. And that's the thing, is that's very comfortable, but it's not realistic. I think it's to have a peace of mind. Again, if you've got your income protected, and you know that come heck or high water, money's coming in every month to pay your bills, you can have that peace of mind. I always tell my clients, dude, don't watch the market every day. My goodness, I don't watch my portfolios every day. I know when they're going up and down. But you know what? That's a great, because the reason is too is you don't want those knee-jerk reactions. You don't want to get so, emotionally invested in the market that you're making bad choices, which is what we're here for, is to take the emotions out of it. But if you can have the money, just make sure you've got your emergency money, you've got income coming in. You're going to have, that market's going to go up and down. You got to remember that 3/4 of it, or 2/3 of the time, the market's going to go up. 1/3 it's going to go down. That's the last 100 years of the market. That does happen. So the odds are in our favor that we're going to have growth in the market, which is why you have to also look at a lot of these big companies. You got trillions of dollars in money in these companies and stocks. These companies aren't going anywhere. Yes, you have to be, which is why we want diversification. You never put all your eggs in one stock, but you want diversification and making sure you've got good companies, good growth potential, and also safety, money for emergencies, some guaranteed pieces of money. Why diversification? That's the best way. That gives you peace of mind knowing that for the long, and we put the nice strategy together for the next 30 years on reasonable rates of return, showing that it can be achieved. I love to give our clients peace of mind. We also call sleep at night insurance. So there's ways to get that. Yes, we can help with that.
All right, Joe, we appreciate you so much. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, just keep your head, stay invested, but make sure you're properly diversified. Get a hold of us. Of course, we always talk about, towards the end of the year, Roth conversions are a big thing right now, making sure we're taking advantage of the tax strategies right now. But making sure that there are so many things to do right now. Just don't make knee-jerk reactions. Stay cool, because there's a lot of volatility ahead.
Right. All right, Joe, well, we thank you so much, and we always thank you for your expertise.
God bless. Take care. Good to see you.
Yes, thank you. But before we go, don't forget to get market updates and more through Joe's newsletter, Financial Vitals. And if you want more information on today's topic, always just head over to the Aging and Style page on our website, WNEM.com.